Welcome back to the Nuzlocke, my send-off and love letter to vanilla Pokemon games where I play every single game in a row as a generation lock, but I only get one of each species of Pokemon. I can't repeat any. There's a few more rules to it, but you can just read that right here. After we beat Black, we reached the halfway point of this journey, and I am so grateful for all the support this series has been getting, so if you're new, it's not too late, we are only halfway in. I'm antsy to get straight into the superior version of the box set duo, so buckle up and subscribe as we begin Saga 5 Leg 18 Pokemon White, Enjoy or Die. As you may have heard in the last episode, things were getting serious. I was tired of all the deaths. I think the last deathless leg we had was like Episode 5 in Silver, so I wanted to make a change, to construct a team so good that we could go into Black 2 and White 2 and win deathless. To start this assembly of Peak, I added No Games the Tepig to our team and go through the randomized catching tutorial that has always worked and still works to this day, and then catch Splinter the Batrat and add the survivors of Last Leg to our team. Introducing Jack the 6th and Slicer X the 18th. Yeah, we kind of had a bloodbath last episode. You see why I want to make a more permanent team again? Anyways, since we had the goated trio on our team, we dog-walked N's Feral Strays and made our way through the dead route to Bianca, where we handled her as well. We drop into Striaton, where we pick up Spizzles. No, not that Spizzles. No, not that Spizzles either. This Spizzles. Cousin, Brizzle, and we add him to the team. While facing Sharon in the trainer school, I discovered Jack's pickup ability was even more useful than before, being able to pick up Oshawott Oranberry after consumption, somehow, and take it for himself. Neat. Anyway, instead of facing Chili like last time, we are now faced with Cress. Unfortunately, without Azure's Flash Fire and, a Panseer, we were actually going to have to try this time. After popping off a sand attack with Jack, we use his huge attack stat to 2-hit KO Lillipup and kind of just handle Panpour with ease. We really didn't have to think that hard this time around either. With our 177th badge down, we head onto the Dreamyard place, save Amuna, and discovered that was our only valid encounter left, so welcome to the team, EP. EP was a really good teammate to have due to its access to Yawn, shutting down almost everything in our way. So, you know we were going to abuse it. Shutting down trainers and wild Pokemon alike, we breezed through the game with our Chloroformmon, gaining so much XP in the process, which allowed No Games to evolve into Pignite and Splinter to evolve into Watchog. Speaking of Muna and these newly evolved Pokemon, I really want to glaze the team comp we had going into Lenora. For starters, Jack and Slicer X weren't being held back by their evolution levels yet, so we had an unbreakable physical wall and a fast normal-type Brutalizer leading the team. To back them up, we had our obviously powerful carry in Pignite and incredible support in Brizzle, Splinter, and EP, with Brizzle setting extremely valuable leech seeds into AI that hate switching out, EP putting everything to sleep, and Splinter stacking Confuse Ray on big damage with Crunch, and later Super Fang. This was the kind of team building that was going to get us to be deathless in the next leg. We face off with Lenora and lead Brizzle, who did what he does best. Despite Intimidate, to stall Leech Seed turns, we go for a very weak Vine Whip, and then switch to No Games, who gets quite a lot of damage done to him. But Leech Seed bolsters our confidence, and we Flame Charge to build speed and KO. However, I remembered Watchog's Retaliate move and decided we needed to switch ASAP. Just to be safe, I didn't risk Slicer X for the resist here, and I send out Splinter, who instead gets hit with Hypnosis. Crisis averted. We stay in 2 turns, Splinter gets slapped around, and we go to Slicer X to hold steady while we heal No Games, and he comes back out ready for war, spamming Arm Thrust until we secure KO and get our second badge. While we fight these trainers on the way to Badge 3, I want to suggest joining my Discord. We host weekly showdown tournaments with a variety of metas, including our own custom one called 3 Musketeers, and we have a sizable, dedicated community with a huge variety of channels to discuss your interests. Or you could just be like me and spend most of your time lurking in main chat. Also, you get more updates about what's coming next on the channel, as well as updates on when I'm streaming, which the streams are also a lot of fun and make you feel more connected to the run and its Pokemon, rather than the small window of things you get to see in the video, so I recommend joining. It completely changes the Nuzlocke experience from a viewer standpoint. We also host game nights on the Discord, so don't miss out, link in description. We begin the Battle of Bugs, and I decide to lead No Games. I chose Tepig over Oshawott this time around because I've been getting advice that Samurott is really good in Black 2 and White 2, and I've already used Snivy, and Ember can deal stab super effective damage into 4 of the gym leaders, 1 of the Elite Four members, 4 of N's Pokemon in the final battle, and 3 of Ghetsis'. So for a leg where I'm trying to build the ultimate team, I felt it was better to pick up this guy now rather than later. We stack 2 speed boosts as we handle Whirlipede, who output pitiful damage, and then stack a third on Dweeble over here, who just kicks sand in our eyes. I thought No Games had this in the bag, but unfortunately this Hermit Crab did us in once again, and we had to switch out. We confuse Ray and Super Fang to do big damage, and switch out to Splinter to EP who lands Yawn. We finally circle back to No Games, who we healed while Splinter was out, and clean up, stacking 2 defense curls and a speed boost in the process. Ace Lavani hits the field.
My fellow Americans, I think we all know where this is going, so let's just skip to the end.
We then take some time to explore the city and milk it for all it's worth. However, most of what it's worth is locked behind the sequels, so we just play dress to impress. Alright, we're dressing up Slicer X. We're gonna make Slicer X the belle of the ball. And look at this, bro. I put the glasses on, affixes to the eyes. You're kidding, bro. Oh my god, I fear I'm slaying right now. We catch Caden Winters the Solosis, and N cuts in line for the Ferris wheel, so we had to let a fella know. It was a close battle for sure, but you know what they say. No butts, no cuts, no coconuts. Give me on that Ferris wheel, phone him. Later down the road, I made my first big mistake of the run, and foolishly thought this Scraggy didn't have any Dark-type moves. I was wrong. Rip Eepy the Muna. Our Yanmon has fallen. Billions must confuse Ray. We rebuild by taking Slicer X off the battle team and adding Caden Winters, as well as Marlboro the Blitzel. Luckily, Marlboro... God, I can't say that. Marlboro. Yanny. Luckily, Marlboro evolved just in time for the gym battle, and despite otherwise being a little weak on the evolutionary scale, we pushed forward into the battle, where Splinter immediately gets hit with Volt Switch before easily snatching half health from Emolga. We make a predict and go for Super Fang again, but we predict correctly and now both Emolga were at half health. Going to Marlboro, we learn through using Flame Charge electric types can for some reason be paralyzed in Gen 5, which if you ask me is ridiculous. After a long struggle and using our healing item, we take down Emolga number 1 and Ace Zebstrika is out. And so with my newfound knowledge of paralysis, I try to give Elesa a taste of her own medicine. I hate this game, bro. I hate this game. I hate this game. I hate this game. I hate this game. This game sucks, bro. This game is not real. This game is not real. This game is not real. I'm tweaking. Lightning Rod, little bro. Ban Retro Chomp. Any mods in chat, ban Retro Chomp. I'm sick of his ass. Marlboro takes too much damage to carry on, and we go to All Reliable. No Games, who crits out Zebstrika. The only issue was our team was kind of battered, and Emolga could certainly output some saucy damage, especially acrobatics into No Games. So I take a risk and switch to Caden, which worked out because Emolga used Pursuit, allowing us to come in safely. We land a Charm and tank another Pursuit. Unfortunately now we had to take another risk. Chances are, like Sharon's Liperd, it's just gonna spam Pursuit if I switch out or not, and Caden cannot run the ones. So we just had to hope for survival here. And we got lucky. No Games is back on the field, and with a few more flame charges, we easily take victory and collect our 4th badge of the leg. In order to set ourselves up for success and keep this team strong, I drop off the monkey duo in the box and add the Sludge, the Trubbish, and Underminer, the Drillbur. Drillbur would be a godsend for this run, and all I had to do was delay its evolution till 36 to get access to Earthquake and Swords Dance early. Even as a Drillbur though, it wasn't useless to the team and managed to help us handle Sharon. Next up was Clay, and we gained some experience by playing through the story, catching Pokemon, and doing the Icebox raid thing again. Now, like Batman versus any adversary in a power scaling video, it was prep time. I backtracked to Castelia to get a Leaf Stone, and then added the Reel, the Throw to the team, and added back Brizzle, who we evolved into Simisage. We face off against the Cowboy and lead Brizzle, who nukes Krokorok with Seed Bomb, and then he goes right for the ace. We Leech Seed and survive a couple blows due to Bulldoze lowering our speed, and then clap back with big Seed Bomb damage. After a few more Seed Bombs and Leech Seed keeping us healthy, Excadrill falls and Palpito gets one shot by its quadruple grass weakness, making Brizzle the sole sweeper of one of the biggest run killers in Unova. So to all the elemental monkey haters out there, sit down bro, you're not special and you're not correct. I then head to the Pokemon Center and place everyone but No Games in the Allies box, and damn, we were looking stacked. 9 Pokemon to our team's name and only 1 death. And of course, more options for team building meant we were much less likely to face deaths during this leg. So for our next gym badge, I put together the team of No Games, Underminer, Brizzle, Splinter, Marlboro, and the Sludge. And Slicer X and I hit the road once again to our next obstacle. Bianca tried to get in our way, but of course we stomp her yet again. I mean, girl, come on, you couldn't even evolve Pampor for the one time. We enter Chargestone Cave and catch a Joltik, who, I'm gonna be honest, we never end up using. But what's important about getting through Chargestone Cave wasn't the encounter, but the items. Chargestone Cave is the best place to farm gems, an item that gives a 50% boost to whatever type move you're using once. Basically the prototype of Z crystals. And besides the normal gem, they're all banned come Gen 6, so you know we gotta abuse the hell out of them now. Along the way to Lost Tower, we make another huge mistake. I accidentally trigger the completely optional and absolutely unnecessary triple multi-rotation whatever you call it battle, and despite my best efforts, Splinter ends up getting ganged on and killed. It was a very sad and unexpected death, but the power levels were starting to catch up with Splinter, so it wasn't too big of a blow to the team. I just wish I could have put him in the allies box before this happened. We had back Caden and we evolved them into Duosian, which for reasons unknown to me, gave chat a devious idea. How much to let Caden die? Nah, I don't think I do it. I don't know if I let Caden die. To let Caden die, like this strong ass psychic type, yeah, $10, bro. $10 and I'd kill Duosian. $10 right now and I kill Duosian. How much is $10 in pounds? God damn it. No, Airbed, please don't kill Duosian, bro. Don't kill Duosian. I changed my mind. Please. I changed my mind. I don't actually... Oh. What is the conversion rate of that? 5 pound is 657. Do I do it for the 5 though? 657, bro got the math wrong. The 650, that is huge. Thank you so much, dude. Holy shit. I'm just thinking though, I said for the 10 USD, you know what I mean? And so it's like I'm in an awkward situation because 650, that's a lot of money for me, you know. That's a lot of money for a Spizzle. 650. You know, I can change the world with 650 in my bank account, but I did say the tenner, so I'm thinking about like, do I do it? Do I not do it? Airbed had donated 5 pounds to me, but that was only a little over $5 US. So I was conflicted. Was I really about to kill one of, if not the strongest psychic type in the Unova region for 666? While I was pondering that though, during a random trainer battle out of absolutely nowhere, a Solosis Future Sight one-shots Marlborough with a critical hit, blindsiding me and killing my most reliable counter to Skyla. After chat bickered back and forth, some of them adamant Caden needs to stay now due to Marlborough's untimely death, Airbed finally laid down another 2 pound, and of course, I was now bound by the clip farm. Thank you for the tenner very much, I appreciate you. I'm sorry I named this beautiful goat after you just to have him slaughtered in cold blood in front of you, but you have to understand, you know, what was I supposed to do? He gave me the tenner. I had no choice. My hands are tied. He gave me the tenner. I don't know what you want me to do. Oh shit, how am I actually going to beat this now? Kind of everything is weak to this. We might be in a little bit of trouble. Yeah. The process of throwing Caden's life away for a couple bucks, karma came back around to tickle my feet when Underminer the Drillbur was crit one shot. Just a few mere levels away from becoming unstoppable. Hell, it was only 1 level away from Earthquake, which I was going to evolve it then just so we had more reliable rock-type damage to Skyla. But now we were down an extremely powerful psychic type and both of our only counters to Skyla's team. I was honestly completely lost on what to do. I caught RLOB, or Rope Lamp Oil Bombs, the Litwick, and I got to preparations. First, I caught a Boulder and Chargestone, because there's an in-game trade you can do to get an Amalga named Minute Bit. But around here, we call him Mini Pete. We then evolve Jack into Ambipom and add Tiramisu the Vanillite to the team, who we evolve into Vanillish. I threw Brizzle in the Sludge on the team for support, and the Real made it back on the team, who still hasn't been used in battle, but he was just there as extra last-minute possible damage. Although Vanillish and Amalga weren't exactly incredible Pokemon, they were all we had, so we started the battle and got to work. We start the battle with Jack's specialty, Tickle. After we take some damage, we set up 2 agilities and baton pass to Amalga, who gets hit by Swoobat and activates Static, which allows us to outspeed next turn, and Oko with an Electric Gem boosted, plus 4 speed Electro Ball. Which, in case you didn't know, Electro Ball does more damage the faster you are than your opponent. And we proceed to one-shot and sweep her entire team, and easily and flawlessly secure badge number 6. Moving on ahead, we catch Kyoya the Cubchoo and evolve the Sludge into Garbodor, and continue on through the story, of which I'm not really too invested, with Brizzle, Tiramisu, and the Sludge carrying the team along the routes. On to our 7th gym badge. I wasn't really too worried, as while no game smashed the Ice-type trainers into mere shards, he evolved into Emboar. And I mean, besides our team, there's a reason why Brycen prefers to throw hands. Shit, I'd do that too if Cryogonal was my ace. I start the battle and get 2 defense curls up, but Vanillish ends up getting a crit mirror shot that lowers my accuracy, causing no games to miss flame charge and allow Vanillish to set up acid armor. However, 2 flame charges later, and we now had a speedy, tanky boy. We miss a heat crash as Beartic gives us that swagger, making our sweep look very tempting, but the last thing I wanted to do was risk our PS5. So I go to the sludge and land a gem boosted sludge bomb, not doing crazy damage but getting the poison off. We survive a couple icicle crashes, mainly thanks to us outspeeding and stockpile, and we use swallow, but icicle crash is still doing huge damage. But as the turns go by, poison also starts to rack up on Beartic. Predicting Brine, I use my 1 healing item, and after Beartic heals, we sludge bomb spam for KO. But unfortunately for us, Beartic uses swagger, we hit ourselves, and Beartic lands a crit icicle crash next turn, killing our garbage kitty. From there though, No Games was pretty safely able to dismantle the rest of Brycen's team and win us badge number 7. We lay our dead to rest and evolve Slicer X, adding him back to the team. The squad was definitely coming together, with our Fire Water Grass Core, our OP Support Mon, and Tiramisu and Minute Bit for type coverage and extra damage. We were looking super prepared for Gym 8. We catch Bear Trap the Stunfisk and then accidentally KO our Jertican encounter. Damn. Honestly, besides the cutscene itself, nothing of interest happened here with Team Plasma. To challenge our team building might, Bianca decided to spin back one more time, and finally with a more competent gang. Stoutland actually kinda walls Jack with Intimidate and almost kills No Games in hand-to-hand combat. So we go to Slicer X, who one-shots with Surf. We go to Brizzle, who uses Flying Gem Acrobatics to destroy Superior, and then Musharna and Semaphore. Another common Brizzle W. We make our way to Gym 8, and honestly, it was really boring getting through the trainers. They were all strong because they're dragon types, but they used the same 2 Pokemon, so it was such a time-consuming slog to get through. And during all this, tragedy struck when we were crit out by a Trutigan, and our GOAT, our carry, our sole setter of Leech Seed, Brizzle, falls. Which I was really saddened by, as I wanted Brizzle to make it to the next game with us, because time and time again it surprised me with how good it was. After we got through it all, we replaced Brizzle with Bear Trap, purely as a foddermon, as this gym battle was full of hard hitters, and getting a heal in may have been more trouble than it was worth otherwise. We of course lead with Jack, and both sides of the field start powering up with Agility and Dragon Dance. Fracture sets a second boost as we go to Tiramisu. This meant Fracture was faster than us, but I predicted Iris would get greedy and go for a third boost, so I use Ice Beam instead of Avalanche, and Oko with a Nevermelt Ice boost. I go for an Acid Armor on Druddigan to boost my defenses, but Chipaway ignored the boosts and did insane levels of damage. I then tried to go for Ice Beam, but I misclick and hit Acid Armor again. Druddigan of course ignores these boosts and kills Vanillish. What was supposed to be an easy sweep now turned into a genuine battle. We throw out Bear Trap, who activates Static and drops Strutigan's accuracy with a gem-boosted Mud Bomb. We spam Mud Bomb, and thanks to lucky paralysis turns, Stunfisk actually almost managed to take it down before it fully healed and landed a Dragon Tail, throwing Stunfisk off the battlefield and dragging out Jack. We go for Tickle, and thanks to Bear Trap's insane amount of accuracy drops and paralysis, Jack safely sets up 2 Nasty Plots and 2 Agilities, and Baton passes out to Mini P. Although Dragon resists Electric, the sheer amount of speed difference as well as the double Nasty Plot and Agility boosts turned Emolga's Electro Ball into a Spirit Bomb, one-shotting Druddigan and doing over 2/3 of Axorus's health. However, we get hit with Dragon Tail, doing half our health and paralyzing Iris's ace. No Games is out, and we go for Heat Crash, which did like no damage, and Haxorus sets D-Dance. We arm thrust, but Iris uses a Hyper Potion. This was scary. Haxorus was healthy and building power, and we couldn't output enough damage to stop it. We go to Slicer X, who lands a gem-boosted Slash as Haxorus sets his 3rd D-Dance. We go for another Slash, Haxorus lives, and gets greedy with a 4th Dance. We still outspeed, and KO with a final Slash, winning our final badge of the leg. It was time for the league. We had suffered quite a few deaths, many more than I'd like to admit, but along the way we picked up a lot of powerful allies, some obvious and some surprising. But of course, before we made it to the league gates, we were stopped by Sharon and Bianca one more time. At first I was excited to blaze past them and move on, but I realized it was a little different than sagas prior. We wouldn't see the same carbon copy of these rivals in Black 2 and White 2. But rather they'd be older and wiser, and more like our mentors in the sequels. We would only battle Sharon once as a low-level gym leader, and Bianca? Never again. At least I don't think. So this time I accepted Sharon's final request with a smile. We nuke Pheasant with Bear Trap and trade huge damage on Samurott. Mini Pete cleans him up, We handle Liper with no games, and he does some damage to Simisear before Slicer X finishes off the battle. We then begin our hike through the 8 badge gates. While we're doing that, I want to thank these 9 awesome subscribers who became channel members in order to support the channel. Thank you for your contribution and for funding this video. Becoming a channel member is cheaper than a McDonald's order these days and really goes a long way to helping me out. If you become a member, you get your name displayed on 5 of my videos for each month you're a member, and a shiny cool badge, and a Discord role, and some other neat perks. If you can't become a channel member, I just ask you to subscribe. It's free, it's easy, you've made it this far into the video, just check and see. These are my metrics, so if you can't become a member or don't want to, liking and subscribing is a surefire way to help me out. Thank you very much, I genuinely appreciate it, and on to the Elite Four prep. We had a lot of work cut out for us. I saved the game and went on a hunt, catching Pokemon from routes I missed, finding TMs, and having long talks with chat on optimal team building strats. We wanted to build an ultimate team for the Elite Four. Since we could access the PC in between that and the champion fight, we wanted to set ourselves up so that way we could swap our around Pokemon from our team, dead or alive, with picks fine-tuned for the Ghetsis and N battles. Of course, the one thing I forgot before I entered the gauntlet was a Rock Slide TM for my boy Slicer X. So, sorry man. After the prep was said and done, the final outcome was 11 warriors, trained and ready for the White War. That sounds a little racist for some reason. We're in the war arc. 11 members just happened to work itself out that way, but it was also optimal in case we had like a full team wipe and only one survivor made it out, so we could at least fill out all the slots. But yeah, I wasn't too worried about wiping because we were stacked. Out of the 11 potential picks for the Elite Four fight, I settled on this team. Alright, team's ready. Let's show them off. We got McYeet with Expert Belt, Hex Hydro Pump Recover Rain Dance, RLOB with Fire Gem, Hex Will-O-Wisp Flame Burst Shadow Ball, Minipet or Mini Pete with Flying Gem, Volt Switch, Light Screen Electro Ball Acrobatics, No Games with Charcoal, Brick Break, Hammer on Flame Charge, Heat Crash, Mike Alola with Bug Gem / X Scissor Ironhead Iron Defense, and Jack the 6th with Bright Powder, Nasty Plot, Baton Pass, Agility, and Tickle. I'm not going to go into why I chose each Pokemon that I did. I feel like they're pretty self-explanatory. We generally have good type coverage, good synergy, good movesets, but I will talk about why I left behind who I did. First of all, the Ponyard and Rufflet were there because they could be useful against N and Ghetsis, but they literally can't evolve until then, so we were kind of forced to sit this one out. Slicer X just didn't really mesh with the team and strats we were going for and didn't really do much into the types we were facing off against, and I wanted to ensure his survival for as long as possible. Bear Trap stayed behind because although we saw she can be incredibly useful, we were already repeating a couple types and Mini Pete just fit way too much into the team to take out. Emolga was just strictly better when paired with Jack. And finally, Kyoya. She didn't actually see any screen time this video because she was just mainly used in some trainer battles here and there, but never really made it to any of the gym fights. Beartic is surprisingly good. Although obviously its type sucks, with considerably great bulk paired with its 130 base attack and Icicle Crash, it can do some huge numbers. It also had Charm to help kind of bolster its defenses and justify its poor type, Brine to help clean up low HP Pokemon, and Resto Chesto strats, which is always a really great thing to see. And I mean, you pair this with an agility or two from Jack and you get a terrifying Ice Bear on your hands. It just didn't make the cut here because I felt like it would be more useful saving it as a last resort to handle Hydreigon or possibly set up Sweep Ghetsis altogether. And now we made it to the league. All of our team building came to this. I wanted to get through this with as few deaths as possible and start the next legs with an unbeatable team. I started with Marshall, as he seemed the easiest. We of course lead with our setup Mon Goat, Jack the Impomp, and he sends out Throw. We go straight for the agility but lose a stage due to Bulldoze. We get set to neutral speed with another Bulldoze, but Nasty Plot and Baton Pass it to McYeet the Jellicent, who gets hit with Payback, and we hit a +2 Hydro Pump. Somehow not one-shotting. They full restore, so we recover, and they both dodge each other's attacks. We Hex and Hydro Pump to KO, and just like that, after our first Pokemon in the Elite Four, we have one Hydro Pump left. We dodge Sock Stone Edge and use Recover. Then McYeet blasts his last Hydro Pump, with Sock only hanging on by Sturdy. We KO next turn with Hex. We try and run ones with no games against Conkeldurr, but he was outmatched, so we go to RLOB. We use Will-O-Wisp and then go to Mike Alola, who takes Conkeldurr out. Mienshao comes out and Jump Kick kills. We sadly did not get to see much of Escavalier at all, but although it was an incredible Pokemon with great defensive typing and matched well into the Elite Four, it was for the best ultimately. It died so we could get a save switch, and Carablast would not be all that great to bring into the next games. God forbid Gen 6. Oh my god. Mini Pete hits the field, and with gem boosted acrobatics, we one-shot and finish the battle off. We heal up, give Mickey an Ether and PP up, and then face Caitlyn. Since we had 2 ghost types to our name, I figured it made more sense to take her out now rather than face against the Elite Four members we were weaker to first. We go for Jack and dodge a Focus Blast, partially thanks to Bright Powder, allowing us to set agility and a nasty plot. We then go to Chandelure, who has the highest special attack stat available to us due to legendaries being banned, and with a +2 speed and special attack, sweep all 4 of Caitlyn's Pokemon, one by one, earning us a flawless victory. Next, we make our way to Chantal, and face her off by leading, you guessed it, Jack. Thanks to her Cofagrigus being way too defensive, we set up the same thing as last time, and of course use it to sweep her with Rope Lamp Oil Bombs, with her team not being able to make a single move before we move on to Grimsley, the final hurdle. With 5 Pokemon left and 2 being ghost types, it would be tricky, but I was confident we would find a way. This time, instead of leading with Jack, I go with Mini Pete, using Gem Boosted Electro Ball for huge damage, then Volt switching out after Scrafty paralyzes itself with Crunch and Static. We take huge damage from a Crunch into McYeet, but Cursed Body disables it. They full restore as we recover, we miss Hydro Pump due to sand attacks, and when we finally land one, it does pitiful damage. We go to Jack, who dodges Crunch and lands Tickle, which allows us to only lose half health to Brick Break. We set agility and get hit with Sand Attack, take a big risk and hit Nasty Plot, and then survive on 5 HP to pass it to Rope Lamp Oil Bombs. We have downed accuracy, but if we land our hits, we can do some stupid damage. Of course we miss and they Sand Attack us even further, but next turn we land, doing way less damage than I thought, as Crunch does the damage I thought I'd be doing. Knowing it would heal, we used Gem Boosted Flame Burst and Oko. Our team was looking a bit beat up, and we had only just handled the first Pokemon. Crocodile stared us down as we switched to Mini Pete. I realize now looking back this may have been a panic play, but he did the best he could to do as much damage as possible with acrobatics before falling to the Gator. With our safe switch, we get to McYeet, who barely survives foul play, disables it, then lands Hydro Pump, taking it out. Now we can handle the rest of the battle with no games. He takes out Liepard with Hammer Arm, and Bisharp comes out, charging with Aerial Ace. It connects, and no games barely survives, and lands a point-blank Heat Crash in retaliation, winning us the Elite Four Gauntlet with only 2 deaths. We make our way to N's castle and reflect on our battles. The 2 Pokemon we lost were strong, but their sacrifices saved Pokemon like Jack and RLOB from biting the dust, and I thank them for it. We open up the PC and dump all our allies in the box, as it was time for the final team build. Who would be on our quote-unquote unstoppable team, and who would be left behind? Out of the 9 fighters remaining, 2 of them had never been used in combat, so I took that into consideration when making the team, as to not needlessly spend encounters. Slicer X and Jack were musts. Slicer X was a staple and has to come no matter what, and although its stats have been getting power crept as the generations fly by, its move pool only continues to increase. Paired with its incredible S-tier ability for Nuzlocking, it was a no-brainer. And Jack was an essential support Pokemon that has helped us bypass countless tough trials and inadvertently saved many lives. I also considered Durant, but ultimately decided against it, so... In fact, spoiler, I end up deciding against all 3 of these guys, so our final 4 slots were being fought over by these 5 Mons. Third, I added Rope Lamp Oil Bombs. Its special attack was unbeatable, its synergy with Jack was great, Will-O-Wisp was valuable, it was also a no-brainer. Emboar was also a no-brainer. It matched up really well into both final battles, and it was the starter of our leg. I ended up taking Kyoya, as although it didn't really match too great into the battles, its moveset was Kino, its stats, especially paired with Jack, was extra Kino, and it gave me some comfort as an emergency Hydreigon solution. And now for the final choice. I originally went with McYeet the night before, but ultimately I decided to go with Bear Trap for one major reason. In my mind, it was our only reliable way to deal with Reshiram. Bear Trap had been used to being a foddermon, and it had survived all the way up until this point, so I really trusted it to find a way to handle the dragon. I tweaked around our items and TMs, and threw ourselves into battle. The submission things from, not Clumsy, Sam, but it's just, I don't want to bother him, it's a lot of work, I might just do it myself. We'll see. The single Sunkern from yours truly, that's goated. Someone's already been doing stats for the turtles. That's huge. Okay, let's see what Mud Bomb does. Let's see what Zen Headbutt does to us. Probably not good news. Stunfisk! Oh my god, he's goated. She's goated, dude. She's goated. She's goated. That's huge. Oh my gosh, that's 2-shot. Fusion Bolt, dodge. Okay, whatever. That's okay. Little unoptimal. We got hit with the fusion bolt immunity, just a fail to the bum trash. Get the para, doesn't matter. Zekrom's down. Bear Trap's the GOAT. All right, we want to get out of Bear Trap here now because what the hell just happened? Oh, why did I? Oh shit, what am I doing? Guys, I zoned out, bro. I got so into the combo, I literally just threw hands with Zekrom. My fault. Bro, Stunfisk just boxed a god. How do you feel about that, chat? Alright, I'm gonna be real here. Bear Trap was not the move for Reshiram. Stats were simply too much to handle. I wiped, and wiped, and wiped again. And honestly, I thought this was the end of the Nuzlocke. The closest I'd come to a feeling like this before was back in Soul Silver, when I had to beat Lance with a Kabutops, a Meganium, and a Lantern. But after many attempts, it clicked for me. I wasn't having a hard time because it was Reshiram. I was having a hard time because I didn't believe in my GOAT, my partner Pokemon Slicer X. And so, although we didn't have Rock Slide, I gave him Rock Tomb and started a new attempt. Slicer X tees up with Reshiram and absolutely tanks a quad-resisted Fusion Flare, then does over half its health with a gem-boosted Rock Tomb and lowers its speed. We then outspeed next turn and KO with another Rock Tomb. Next up, Klinklang comes out. However, from my previous experience, N never throws out Klinklang first against Slicer X, despite it having Thunderbolt. It always tries to land a Focus Blast with Zoroark. So I see through the bait and Slicer X charges forward, through the super effective Focus Blast, and one-shots with an X-Scissor attack. Next, the real Klinklang comes out. So we go to tank T-Bolt with Bear Trap, and Oko with a gem-boosted Mud Bomb. Vanillix shoots out a Blizzard, and Jack takes the blow, but is unable to reliably set anything up, so we go to Rope Lamp Oil Bombs, who tanks and almost Okos with Flame Burst. We KO, and it's down to the final two. We go to Bear Trap for Caracosta. We heal Slicer X, and Bear Trap lives yet another assassination attempt, and we go to No Games, who thankfully only gets hit with Aqua Jet. We one-shot with Hammer Arm, and Slicer X one-shots with Waterfall, and we defeat N. Phew. My chat did not tell me my stream was lagging like hell, so I had to do a lot of editing to cover that shit up. Y'all are making me put in work, man. Buy me a coffee. Anyway. Oh yeah, we beat N deathless, and I wanted to try and do the same for Ghetsis. With Slicer X as my lead, I was confident we would be victorious. So I decided to do a blind tutorial showcase of how to defeat Ghetsis in black and white, and it seemed Slicer X caught on to the bit. Let's check who has items, boys. Alright, obviously No Games and Jack and Kyoya have their consumables. Only RLOB has their Ghost Gem left. So here's what you want to do. We're actually going to let bro get toxic here to give us more turns to set up. So we're going to go Waterfall. And then, yeah, we flinch Cofagrigus. That was exactly part of my plan. And then we crit hit Cofagrigus and actually KO it immediately. That was also part of my plan. And then Hydreigon comes out. That was also part of my plan too. Important to note. Then you want to X-Scissor into Hydreigon, and you want to dodge the Focus Blast too. That's very important too. So then once you dodge the Focus Blast, you want to hit X-Scissor and one shot, right? That's and you make sure you get a crit, because the plan might not work if you don't crit as well. And then that's kind of how you handle the most dominant parts of Ghetsis' team, really, without taking any damage. That's just how I do it, and, you know, that's going to be the end of this tutorial. Hope you all enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and mail me your firstborn. With our flawless deconstruction of Ghetsis' two biggest threats, we trade most of No Game's health to secure a KO on Bouffalante. Next came out the most difficult Pokemon for our team to handle, Seismitoad. 5 of our 6 team members were weak to it. It's extremely powerful, and we couldn't hit it for super effective damage. We needed to play perfectly here. And I also have Bright Powder. I'm going to try and set up with Jack here to at least give him some use. Okay. We end up going to Kyoya, who misses, lands Charm, Resto Chestos after surviving the next hit, misses their first attack, and squeaks out one Icicle Crash before being too low to carry on. When in doubt, we of course go to Slicer X, who lands the flinch on Seismitoad, makes it heal, then KOs it in 2 more waterfalls by landing a crit on the second one. We go into Bear Trap, who tanks the incoming electric attack, and we heal up No Games. I then use Mud Bomb on Levitate Electros. Honestly, it was force of habit. I saw the ground type move, I saw electric, I went for it. I literally used to spout the classic trivia of this Pokemon all the time as a kid. I don't know why I did that. It then dodges Muddy Water, meaning Bear Trap's luck has finally run out and we were forced to switch. I went to Rope Lamp Oil Bombs to activate Flash Fire, landed Will-O-Wisp and one shot with Gem Boosted Hex, and finally Bisharp comes out. The last Pokemon standing between us and Black 2 and White 2. I had to make a call. Switch or not to switch. Basically, Bisharp had super effective damage into Chandelure. However, Emboar was still slower than Bisharp, and Bisharp had a huge attack stat and high chance to crit. So, although looking back, I think I should have just switched anyway, I wanted to make sure no games made it to the next leg, as I personally felt it was more valuable, which sounds crazy, I know. Competitively, Chandelure absolutely blows the boar out of the water, but in a Spizzalock, Litwick doesn't even evolve into Lampent until level 41, so it would be another Mon in the Boxall game. In fact, you don't even want to evolve it at all until it gets Shadow Ball at level 49. While Emboar is also good, has a great typing, and is very balanced and fine-tuned for these games. So instead of risking the straight attack or switching out, I decided to try the best of both worlds and go for a Will-O-Wisp. And miss, causing Rope Lamp Oil Bombs to die. No Games comes out and somberly cracks Bisharp over the head with Hammer Arm, winning us the leg. N gives us a yap session and flies off on his dragon, and we were left wondering, did we truly build the ultimate team? Did we do what we set out to do, even after all those deaths? Yeah, we did. There are two Pokemon I've heard time and time again absolutely carry the Black 2 White 2 runs, which are Samurott and Magnezone. Pair that with these 5 Pokemon we would be seeing in the next run, and I'd say we were going to be doing just fine. I mean, all of these Pokemon would be good up until around badge 2 or 3, and then even without Jack and Slicer X, and hell, even Kyoya, we'll still be at an incredibly solid team of 5, and can fill in that slot with some other goats as well. I think we're really going to crack some skulls next leg and get back to our low casualty roots. But what do I know? I'll probably throw like an idiot or get crit out. Anyway, that's going to be about it for this episode. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!